6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, December 21st, our last council meeting of the year. Welcome, everybody. We just got back from closed session, so I'll take a roll call, please.
Councilmember Nierenheim.
Here.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Here.
Councilmember Horvath.
Here.
Councilmember Obaji.
Here.
Councilmember MD.
Here.
Mayor Brand.
Here. Thank you. Eleanor, do we have any actions to report in closed session, Mike?
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor. The City Council gave direction to the City Attorney to defend both the lawsuits listed under item F1 and F5 in closed session. That direction was unanimous to authorize defense.
Okay, great. With that, I'll entertain a motion to recess from closed session.
Motion to recess from closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any objections? Okay, we are recessed from closed session. Now I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of City Council. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Nierenheim.
Here.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Here.
Councilmember Horvath.
Here.
Councilmember Obaji.
Here.
Councilmember MD.
Here.
Mayor Brand.
Here. Thank you, Eleanor. Let's all rise and salute the flag and take a moment of silence afterwards, please. And there's, do we have a flag up? Yeah, there it is. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, folks. All right, I guess we'll do announcements. Councilmember Nierenheim, you have any announcements for?
I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year. See you in the new year. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Great. Councilmember Lowenstein.
The same. I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays and a happy new year, and stay safe out there. COVID is back with a vengeance. So please get boosted if you can, and protect yourselves around the holidays. It's really important. We need you here for the new year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Horvath.
Yes, more of the same. Happy holidays and happy new year to everyone. And I second what Councilmember Lowenstein is saying right now. Flu, Delta, Omicron, they're all out there, and it's just that time of the year. So numbers are going up. So be careful, get vaccinated if you haven't. Stay safe.
Councilmember Obaji.
Just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you to all the staff. I know you've been working very hard since City Manager was announced he's coming to office, and we really appreciate it. All the new changes and the like. So wish you all happy health and joy this holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Councilmember MD.
I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, and especially to big shout out to all the staff that's going to be working over this Christmas holiday, because of the weather is going to possibly present some challenges. And so I just wanted to say heartfelt thank you, I'm sure, from everyone here for all the work that's about to happen, and hopefully it won't be too bad. Second thing is I'm getting lots of comments. I don't want to call them complaints because they're just more observations and things that they want us to take care of. And that's the 405 off ramp. Saw some encampments, and they've now left with, thanks to CityNet and to Lila, and Joy. They've all either been found homes or they have left the area, but they've left quite a bit of trash in their place, and it's encouraging others to come as well. So we're working on getting Caltrans to clean it up, but it's definitely turning into a big issue with the residents here in District 5.
Okay. Likewise, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and generally happy holidays and Happy New Year. It's been an eventful year, and as people have said, the Omicron's looming like a dark cloud and doubling. What is it, every 2 days in cases? It's really, really dramatic. But I also like to tell everybody, drive carefully. We got rain coming. It's the holidays. People are driving too fast. We all see it. Don't be one of them. Be careful. If you're walking, be careful. If you're riding your bike, whatever you're doing out on the roads, be extremely careful. People are going too fast. They're in a hurry and they got to get that whatever last minute. So be extra careful out there. It's not going to be a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you crash your car or worse, somebody gets injured. Take your time. Okay. With that, we'll move on with our agenda. How about our order of agenda? Is everybody okay with it? Do you have a motion to approve the order of agenda?
Motion approved.
Second.
I didn't hear the second was. Is that? Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. A motion by Councilmember Baji, second by Councilmember Narenheim. Any objections? So ordered. Blue folder items. Do we have any backup materials for the blue folder tonight, Eleanor?
Yes, for N2, which is the annual audited financial reports, we have the annual comprehensive financial report, the inmate trust fund, the enterprise fund financial statements, the internal service funds financial statements, the audit communication letter, the report on internal controls letter, the management representation letter. You received an email and they're all final. So that's what you received. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there a motion to admit those to the record?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Horvath, second by Councilmember Lowenstein. Any objections? So ordered. Consent calendar. Tonight, we have 9 items on consent calendar. We normally vote for these all at once. Any member can pull any item, and certainly any member of the public can comment on any item. I'll go through the council. First, Councilmember Narenheim, is there any item you'd like to pull?
I do not have any items to pull. Thank you.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Horvath.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Obaji.
Just H9 for a brief presentation by the city attorney, please.
Okay. And Councilmember MD.
No, thank you.
Okay. Any members of the public like to comment on any item other than H9?
Hey, Mayor, I have no attendees on Zoom at this point, and I have no e-comments.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent calendar except for item H9.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Lowenstein, seconded by Councilmember Obaji. I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Narenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Aye.
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember MD.
Aye.
Okay, with that, Eleanor?
Yes, I need to read one, H7, adopt by title only, resolution number CC-2112-123, resolution City Council, City of Redondo Beach, California, leasing certain property to First Steps for Kids, Inc., a California corporation. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Obaji, you pulled item H9.
Yeah, I see that it's a resolution where we're going to start to team up with Hermosa Beach on homeless court. I wasn't sure whether we're already teaming up with them on homeless court in some respects, because I know that we have joint prosecution, or at least we prosecute their misdemeanors. And anyway, we could just get a brief summary of the status quo and how we're changing the status quo under this. I would appreciate it.
Thank you. I'd be happy to. This is a very good news item. It gives funds, which we used for the first enhanced response to homelessness from the South Bay COG. And so it includes paying for a lot of services. It includes continuing to pay for the 5 beds that we rent in Wilmington as transitional housing in addition to the pallet shelter. When it comes to homeless court, we have not, if they were only cases involving unhoused individuals occurring in Hermosa and there were no other Redondo cases, we did not bring those to homeless court because we'd always talked about it being a Redondo program. They would go to Torrance Court and we would handle them there. The council has spoken about wanting to have other cities do their fair share and not have Redondo solve the issues for other cities. We've never tried to do that. We've tried to be an example that other cities could emulate. And in this case, Hermosa has wanted to be involved, and they've agreed to take over hosting duties 4 out of the 12 times per year because they have fewer unhoused individuals. And so we will travel to this new homeless court in Hermosa 4 times a year. Will decrease from 12 times a year to 8, and it will include both cases from Hermosa and Redondo. It's a little misleading because if we have one Redondo case, they may live in Hermosa most of the time, and vice versa. You could have someone who lives in Hermosa who picks up a Redondo case. But it's a good example of cities starting to use our approach to handle their unique problems. So Torrance is creating their own pallet shelter. They're creating their own homeless court right in the parking lot adjacent to their Superior Court. And we also have interest, and this surprised me, if Manhattan Beach can resolve their prosecution issue, either get the DA to adopt a homeless court model or get the DA to agree to us to do prosecution, non-homeless court prosecution, and we enter into a contract that their staff would be in favor of hosting it 2 times a year. So we would give up half of our homeless court duties. So it's working well, and it's starting to expand, and each area is coming up with programs that will address the problem of the unhoused in their area. So it's very nice to have the funding from the COG. It was very competitive this year. And I'm very grateful that we were able to get the funds that we requested.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Councilmember Obaji.
That's just a quick question. So currently, when you prosecute unhoused individuals from Hermosa Beach in the court rather than homeless court, are you basically asking for the same things that you'd ask for in homeless court? Or is it a totally different model when you're in the kind of criminal court system inside the courthouse?
Yeah, it's a totally different model. We'd like the same approach, but they haven't. They have Harbor Interfaith, and they have the Harbor Interfaith individual. It was Ramon. I don't know who it currently is that we share with the 3 cities, but they're not as active as our housing navigators. So it may be more difficult to be able to get them through the steps of, we want to see them, we want the same eventual goal, getting them permanently placed. It just may take a little bit longer using traditional court, and given the lack of resources compared to what we're able to bring to bear in our city. And that is starting January 3rd. I can now finally announce, because she's given notice and she's passed her medical background. Lila Amura will be starting as a city employee January 3rd. And so we'll be able to bring even greater resources to bear.
Awesome. All right. Well, on that, thank you for the explanation, Mr. City Attorney. On that, I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the South Bay Cities and Councils of Government as provided in H9.
Second.
Okay, it's great. Great news about Lila, Mike. Thanks for everything you've been doing there. Big Christmas present for her. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any other comments? Do a roll call vote, Councilmember.
Mayor, so we have no comments.
And if I can add one other thing, since it's a public forum, Michelle Scott, who many of you know, Lila sent a picture of her holding the keys to her apartment. So she is now permanently placed after 10 plus years living on the street. And it's
just amazing.
A remarkable accomplishment.
That's fantastic. How many people would you say we've gotten into permanent housing, Mike?
I don't want to guess because I'll return with that number because it will be
Okay.
low. If I estimate, it will be low compared to, because I know one of the reasons Lila wanted to wait till January is she had a number of people close to become permanently housed and she didn't want them to inadvertently fall through the cracks. So I'll have our new employee return at a council meeting in January and give you the up-to-date number.
Yeah, I want to see that presentation. I just can't even imagine how many people she's gotten off the streets.
And she's very grateful for the support of you all and the teamwork and partnership that we bring to trying to address this issue.
Yeah, it's clicking. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Narenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Hey,
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember Imdi.
Aye.
Okay, you need to
I need to read
that,
something.
Eleanor.
Yes. So H9, adopt by four-fifths vote by title only resolution number CC-2112-124, a resolution of the City Council, City of Redondo Beach, California, authorizing a fiscal year 2021-2022 budget modification to appropriate $121,169 in innovation grants funds from the SBCCOG to the Intergovernmental Grant Fund. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Eleanor. Next up is public participation on non-agenda items. This is the public's opportunity to comment on anything that is not on our agenda. Everybody has 3 minutes, and we'll just take them in order. Do you have any takers tonight, Eleanor?
I don't see anybody on Zoom, even though we had some registration. But I do have an e-comment from James Crawford. I would like to congratulate Councilmember Christian Horvat on his new job with the City of Rolling Hills as the new city clerk and admin assistant to the city manager. It will no doubt provide a great learning experience to Mr. Horvat as he transitioned to his next career outside of elected public office. While finally being employed is good news for Mr. Horvath, it should be noted this job creates an issue for the people of Redondo Beach. As an employee of Rolling Hills, any business before the City of Redondo Beach City Council that involves that city means Mr. Horvath should be recused from voting. Participating in any agenda item regarding Rolling Hills would be a direct conflict of interest as he materially benefits by being paid by them. I wanted to bring this to the attention of the council as the city attorney recently proposed expanding prosecution services with cities on the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Should City Attorney Webb decide to bring this idea back prior to Mr. Horvath's leaving office, he must recuse himself. That concludes the e-comments, and I still see none for Zoom. Thank you.
Nothing, Eleanor? Nothing more?
That's it.
Okay, moving right along to our first item. N1, adopt by title only an ordinance, interim urgency ordinance, amending the Redondo Beach Municipal Code, various chapters by providing regulations related to to provide objective standards for Senate Bill 9, SB 9, by providing regulations related to urban lot splits in 2-unit projects subject to Senate Bill 9. I believe Brandy Forbes is going to lead this
We
discussion.
have ex parte issues.
This is
No
not a
formal
public hearing.
No formal presentation tonight, Mayor, on this
okay.
item. We believe we've incorporated all your direction into the urgency ordinance. We're available if you have any questions. But we believe this is that you're looking for based on our prior 2 meetings.
Do we need to do ex parte communications on this item?
No, this is not a public
Not a hearing.
hearing.
Right. Okay, thank you. So you're just waiting for any questions from us? Is that it?
If you have them, we would recommend you approve the urgency ordinance as drafted.
Yeah, I'll just recap for everybody. These are objective standards that we're allowed to make under Senate Bill SB 9. SB 9 requires ministerial approval of lot splits of single-family resident zoned housing in the entire state of California. And then you can go ahead and build 2 units on each lot at a minimum. So that means 4 units where there sits a single-family home in the bill, it says no more than a 4-foot setback on the side or the rear. No minimum parking standards if you're within half a block of a certain type of bus stop. It's huge upzoning across the entire state of California. No CEQA review. It's really going to be a challenge for a lot of cities up and down the coast and in the entire state. So I went through the ordinance. I thought it was well done. It was very reflective of what our council had discussed at the last meeting. I assume anything we missed can be done next year. We looked at several things, and some other things may pop up. A lot of other cities are doing certain things. We may find something that's meaningful and important that we may want to adopt later. But this is an urgency ordinance because it takes effect January 1st. Otherwise, this would normally go to the Planning Commission and through our normal processes. But because
if it's not in there, it's an issue that will be brought to by Ms. Forbes to the Planning Commission, and we'll return with many of the other questions in that process, such as property ownership. What type of, do you have a family trust? Do they fall within corporation? That may be different if it's a revocable versus an irrevocable family trust. So we'll develop it during the normal ordinance process. But this does have the affordability and the other things that the council mentioned that you wanted in there that we could accomplish between last week's meeting and this week.
Thank you, Mike. Councilmember MD.
I just have a question on the R1A. So if I'm reading that correctly, if we require 20 feet and are most of the R1As only 25 feet wide to begin with, or am I mistaken that? So in other words, if they were to split it, they would only be 12 and a half feet each.
I think you're correct. Lord Brandy's not here, but I had that very conversation with her, and it starts to get complicated.
Yeah, and I think we can certainly follow up with you on that specific question, Councilwoman. I think your math is correct, but I believe that would be a challenge to actually effectuate splitting at that level.
I think we addressed this in one of our previous conversations too, because R1As were previously split.
Correct. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I know you have to incorporate the zone because there are some in the zone that still haven't been split. So I just wanted to verify that I was reading that correctly. Okay.
And the R1As are not precluded from ADUs or JADUs, which.
No, I'm aware. I just wanted to make sure I was looking at that math right. Well, I make a motion that we pass this emergency ordinance then.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Councilmember Narenheim.
Does anyone know if there is an R3 lot or an R2 lot that has, say, a large size? Can R2 essentially be split into 4 times? So instead of 2, it would be 8. Is that possible?
I don't think so because it's because this only applies to R1 and R1A.
Right. No,
I think Councilmember Mindy's correct. It applies to single family zoning residents. So I assume that an R2 or R3 lot would not, this SB 9 would not affect.
Okay, that's what I thought, but what if the question came to me from the lot size? What if it's a really large lot size and they were able to fulfill the 1,200? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure, but okay, that works for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's complex, right? I mean, there's and it just dropped in our lap. So there remains questions, there remains clarifications. Some cities are more aggressive than others. Some of it will be challenged, some of it won't. I mean, and we have time. And as City Attorney Mike Webb says, going back Planning Commission, they can flush some things out and to be continued ultimately. They're all good questions, though. This is what happens when Sacramento starts rezoning the entire state without proper hearing. There'll be no hearing. One thing I have to impart with the public, when the 4 units or 6 units or whatever go up next to you, there'll be nothing your council or mayor or anything the city of Redondo Beach can do. We're required to give ministerial approval with no hearings, no secret review, nothing. So when the box goes up, there'll be nothing we can do. So it's Sacramento for you. Anyway, there's a motion and a second. Any public comment?
So Mayor, there's no public comment or e-comments on this one for the record. And then I just wanted to just make a comment that this has to pass by 4/5 vote. And then also for, this will be published in the Easy Reader, not the Beach Reporter, which was stated in the section 9. So I just wanted to make that correction. Thank you.
Thank you, Eleanor. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Narenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Aye.
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji. Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember Imdi.
Aye.
Okay, Eleanor, you should get to read this.
Yes, adopt by 4/5 vote and by title only urgency ordinance number 0-3226-21, an interim urgency ordinance of the City of Redondo Beach, the City Council of the City of Redondo Beach, California, amending the Redondo Beach Municipal Code Title 10, Chapters 1, 2, and 5 to provide objective standards for Senate Bill 9, SB 9, by providing regulations related to urban lot splits and 2-unit projects subject to Senate Bill 9, SB 9. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Eleanor. Next item into discussion and possible action regarding our annual audited financial reports. So, how fun, but it's important stuff. Jennifer, good to see your smiling face. I guess you're going to like this presentation.
Hi there. Thank you, everyone. I have Brian Gruber here from our audit firm, LSL, and thank you very much for your questions in our final files coming in as the blue items. The only difference is that draft was removed and the dates were changed for signatures. So if you did take a look at it earlier, there are no material changes. And we will have Brian take lead on discussing it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. My name is Brian Gruber with LSL CPAs, the independent auditor for the city, engaged to conduct a financial statement audit for the year ended June 30, 2021. We've completed our audit and provided you the reports and results of our audit in the form of a few different communication letters and a few different financial statements. There is the city's annual comprehensive financial report, in addition to separate standalone audits for the inmate trust fund, internal service funds, and enterprise funds, in addition to some auditor communication letters. Now, LSL was engaged to conduct a financial statement audit. The purpose of a financial statement audit is the expression of an opinion on those financial statements, that those financial statements can be relied upon by readers of the financial statements, that they're materially accurate and in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. To render an opinion, we follow professional standards to conduct our audit, which includes planning and performing our audit, various steps and procedures to do that, including obtaining an understanding of internal controls and processes and testing the year-end results in the financial statements. The independent auditor report is provided in the annual comprehensive financial report, and we express what's referred to as an unmodified opinion on those financial statements, meaning that those financial statements have been audited and can be relied upon. In addition to the independent auditor's report, a few communication letters. The first one is our report on internal control and compliance. As part of conducting our audit, we review internal controls over financial reporting that lead into the financial statements. And we're required to communicate to the governing body if we identify deficiencies in the structure that are deemed to be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. And we reported no material weaknesses in internal control. And also, if we, in the course of conducting our audit, we identify instances of non-compliance with laws, regulations, grant awards, or other contracts that are part of the financial reporting process. We would communicate to you, and we noted no findings in that area. Our last communication letter is our auditor communication letter. We communicate to the governing body if the overview of the audit process, if we have difficulties conducting our audit, meaning that, staff failing to provide information to us or having difficulties in the audit conducting stages. We didn't have any. In addition to if we had disagreements with regard to accounting procedure or accounting reporting, we would communicate that to you here. If there were any known differences or unadjusted audit differences, we would communicate that to you here. None of those such items. And then lastly, any changes that are impacting the financial statements. There were a few this year. There were a new governmental accounting standards, which changed, number one, the title of the financial statements to Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. And then number two, changing in classification of fiduciary activities for the city and changing in some terminology and slight changes in reporting that occurred. And also upcoming changes that will affect the city is new accounting standards related to leases, which will be effective for next fiscal year, which will change the reporting in the statements themselves and the disclosure of those in future in next year's financial statements. So that's the result of our audit and communication. I'm happy to answer any questions, and Jennifer too, I'm assuming. So thank you.
And I'll just chime in. I know an unmodified opinion doesn't sound very exciting, but it's very exciting to me because that is the best opinion the city can receive, just to kind of translate.
Yeah, no, thanks, Brian, and thanks very much, Jennifer. And I think it's the first time since I've been up here that we got an unmodified opinion, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken, but even more exciting than that is that they changed the name from Comprehensive Annual Financial Report to Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. I don't know who thought of that. I'm sure they've got very good reasons, but now we can't call it CAFR. I don't know what we're going to call it. I'm just going to
right? ACFR.
Just makes no sense. It's sure they were accountants. It's like engineers. Anyway, and I am an engineer, so I can say that. Councilmember MD.
That's great. Thank you so much for the financial report on it. But in reading it, one of the things that that kind of caught my eye, which has nothing to do with the finances, has to do with the number of employees that the post office had. In 2012, they had 260 employees. They're now down to 152 employees. So, and we've increased our population. So therefore, you kind of start to get a realization of why we're having so many mail issues. And so let's include that when we're complaining to the post office that they need to get more employees in there to help fix our mail problems. But just wanted to point that out to anybody who's in there. And so on that note, I say we receive and file this report. I think that's all I have to do, right?
Approval.
Approve. I make a motion that we approve this report.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Is there any public comment? Ellen.
Yes. Let's see. Nope. Sorry, I'm also dealing with an agenda that it's going out today, so almost. Let's see here. Let me look at any comments, and I have none.
Okay. I don't see any other hands up. I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Nierenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Aye.
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember MD.
Aye.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Brian. That was probably quicker than you expected. But thanks for your work, honestly.
Of course. Thanks.
All right. Do you need to read anything, Eleanor? I don't think so.
No, not for this one. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Great. Next item is discussion and possible action to approve an agreement with American Guard Services to provide transit center security for a total amount not to exceed $546,000 for a 3-year term. That's a lot of money for security at the transit center. But with that, I'll turn it over to Cameron Hardy.
Cameron's out today, Mayor. Rooney, our transit manager, we will be providing today's presentation. And just to be clear, the $500,000+ is actually for the full 3-year term. So not $500,000 per year, but over the course of the 3-year term of the agreement. With that, Joyce, could you please take it away?
Sure. Hi, good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm here tonight to present the recommendation to award the Transit Center security contract for the Transit Center to American Guard Services. The Transit Center security RFP was developed earlier this year, and after Council approved the RFP, it was issued in June. The proposals were due in July, and since then, staff has been involved in evaluating the proposals. With the construction of the new transit center, the Transit Division has been working on several RFPs for services during the past year. In January, we plan to return to Council for the contract for the property management and maintenance services. We are also coordinating with the police department on the security camera contract, and Council approved the agreement with Metro for the installation and operation of the ticket vending machine that will be installed at the new site. And so they're just going to be waiting for us to authorize the start of installation. This slide shows the transit center site that will be covered for security services, the area that's not included. And the security contract will be that area that's bounded in gold and burgundy for the transit operations and the pallet shelter housing. More specifically, the transit center security services will monitor the area that includes the bus bays, the passenger waiting area, public bathrooms, and all the parking spaces on the site, in addition to the transit center building, which has several driver lounge and other amenities, as well as some security offices. The transit center itself is going to be provided transit services operated out of the transit center are Metro, Beach Cities Transit, Torrance Transit, and G-Trans. Lawndale Beat has been suspended since COVID-19. They don't have any certainty about when they'll restart services, but as soon as their council determines if they're going to continue service, they'll be using the transit center as well. Security services will cover the same time frame that transit services are operated out of the transit center. They'll be operating from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the reason, to 12:30 a.m. And the main reason it's until 12:30 is because Metro does operate service during that whole time frame. As I mentioned before, there'll be daily coverage of the facility from 6 to 12:30 a.m. The security officers will act as transit ambassadors, as well as ensuring public safety for those people using our transit center and the parking lot areas. We will have them also work with the police department and the fire department as needed. The contract includes performing perimeter and parking lot patrols throughout the area. And this agreement is for 3 years with 2 one-year options. This is just a slide that shows the total annual hours. As Mike mentioned, the $540,000 is to cover the first 3 years of the agreement. So the annual hours will be for 6,752. Then that includes services on weekends and holidays. So the proposal review process began in July. We received 8 responsive proposals. Our review committee consisted of the Transit Center and Captain Naylor from the Police Department. The evaluation criteria included the contractor's experience and their qualifications, as well as their technical approach and cost effectiveness and financial viability. We also requested supplemental questions so we can get more detail on what their proposal was included. After that process, we recommended, we determined that the best candidate to provide the services is American Guard Services. They were founded in 1997. They're very experienced and have good qualifications in the industry. They have government and commercial contracts. Their corporate office is within 5 miles of the transit center. And within that office, it includes a 24/7 dispatch center and training facility. So they'll be very accessible to us if any incidents occur. They have an experienced corporate team as well as project manager. Their cost proposal was in the mid-range of all the proposals that were submitted. So we believe that the price is competitive. Some of the things that attracted us to AGS is that they proposed that they would assign their tenured officers to our transit center. So there would be have people with experience and would be able to handle the facility without any issues. Their salaries and benefits are competitive, and they will be using an automated cloud-based software program to monitor the staff and prepare their reports. And that includes a GPS system. The 1-year cost is $182,317. Since we have some uncertainty of when the transit center construction will actually be complete at this time, there will be some overlap of that 1-year contract. So we'll have partial expense for this fiscal year and then overlap in the future years. The transit center's security services is included in the budget, and it is funded by Prop A local return. So it's not, there are no general funds are expected to pay for the transit center. Our recommendation tonight is to discuss the possible action to approve the agreement with American Guard Services to provide transit center security services for not to exceed amount of $546,952 for a 3-year term. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm available.
Great. Thank you so much, Joyce. Very comprehensive. Appreciate that. You can stop sharing your screen now, I think. Hopefully,
Yep.
You can pull it back up again. Councilmember MD.
This seems like a no-brainer. We need contracts. They're basically there to be ambassadors. There's no guns involved. It's not hitting the general fund. So I would just say, let's make a motion to approve the agreement with American Guard Services to provide transit center security services for a 3-year term.
Second.
Okay. Are there any comments from the public?
Mayor, we have no comments tonight for this item. Thank you.
Okay, no hands up. I'll take a roll call vote. Councilmember Nierenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Aye.
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember MD.
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much, Joyce. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New
Thanks,
Year.
you too.
Good to see you.
See you next year. Bye.
See you next year. Okay. Next up, give me a second here. Lost track of my agenda. There it is. Discussion and possible action on scheduling the city's next strategic planning sessions and authorizing preparation of a consulting services agreement with Leading Resources Incorporated for strategic planning facilitation. Mike Kwitsanski, you wanted to explain this?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Mayor. Pleasure tonight to present this. This has been a long time coming for us. We, as the councils were well aware, we need to reboot our strategic planning program. It's been over a year since we've held a session and constructed a set of strategic objectives that really guide our work program. We view the process as beneficial both from a policy setting standpoint to achieve your goals and the community's goals, but also to help us prioritize our limited resources. So in order to help us move forward and actually begin setting the next couple of planning session dates, and I'll explain that in a second, went ahead and conducted a targeted request for proposal process, did some evaluation of prospective firms, and after really vetting different groups and talking to folks who have worked with different operators in municipal governments, in the municipal government sector, and talking to others outside of government, facilitators who do engagements both with public entities and private corporations. We targeted 3 firms that we had interest in. One of the 3, Leading Resources Incorporated, in my view, and thank you, Mayor, for participating in the final round of interviews. It was good to get a bit of a political perspective on the process as we went through it. We ultimately had two proposals come in from one from Leading Resources Incorporated and the other from a firm called On Strategy. Really, both outfits could do the job. Both have the skill set, I think, to be great facilitators for us. But Eric Douglas, who is with Leading Resources and who is available in January and February to serve our next set of session needs, in my view, was ultimately the best combination of skill, price, and experience and philosophy in the area. So excited to bring Leading Resources on board. And in consulting with them, the suggestion is, while we're still in this virtual environment, to really host the session over two Zoom calls, try to keep them in the 2 to 3 hour range each. The thinking on it being that the first session really goes back and evaluates what we've accomplished in the last year, or more notably, perhaps recent 6 months. We kind of revisit our strengths and weaknesses and some of the outside threats that continue to potentially harm our organization. And then we take some time to reset our goals. It's been a while. We should revisit the goals we have in place. Do we want to set 3-year goals? Do we want to set goals over a longer period? And then once we've established those, begin talking about and maybe setting some specific set of objectives under 1 or maybe 2 of those goals. Then hit a little bit of a pause, ideally maybe a 48-hour window. It would be great if we could do this over a Monday, Wednesday, or over a Tuesday, Thursday, and I'll give you some suggestions on dates. But then come back and host another session, another 2 to 3 hour session where we build out the remainder of our strategic objectives under the remaining goals. And then give ourselves and the public an opportunity to speak not once, but twice on our process. Help us kick it off with the first session, give everybody a time to evaluate the multi-year goals that the council is looking at, and come back and weigh in on that as part of the second session as well. So I think in talking it through with our consultants, the 2-step process, I believe would serve us well as we sort of reboot our strategic planning efforts. So my suggestion and hope tonight is that you're able to pick 2 dates in late January, because we do have to work with Eric's schedule ultimately as well, if you're all comfortable bringing Leading Resources back on as our consultant. But ideally, we would either do it, and I think the dates are, let me get them up here. The last week in January, I think, works well for us because we don't have a scheduled council meeting. We'll meet on the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. That will leave the final week, which is Monday the 24th through Friday the 28th, available to us. And depending on your all personal schedules, I would suggest we go Monday the 24th and Wednesday the 26th, or Tuesday the 25th and Thursday the 27th. as our two-step engagement window. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Leading Resources, Eric in particular, he's a Harvard grad, has just a wealth of experience in both the private and the public sector. He's worked for not-for-profits, just been all over the world, really just a wealth of knowledge, and I think would serve us well in re-engaging our efforts.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mike. And I'll just reiterate the importance of our strategic planning. It's a shame that we've gotten away from it, but it's had a lot going on. And it not only serves staff well and serves us well in setting policy and giving them great direction, but it's also a great way for the public to see what we're focused on and get their input going into that strategic planning, which is another reason why I like doing it in two different sessions, because the public's able to hear what's going on in the first session. We can think about what we accomplished in the first session, hear more input, and go back in the second session and really hone in what we want to accomplish in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So I thought, what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Eric?
Yeah, Eric. Eric was fantastic. I mean, for somebody for his stature and his life experience, and for him, he's very passionate about it. So it was great to hear his genuine curiosity and interest in performing this for us. So I felt like we were lucky to have him, frankly. And it'd be great to get back to all this as well. So yeah, I'm supportive of it. Thanks, Mike, for putting this all together. Took a few months to identify some companies that would participate, and the other company interviewed well. I just thought Eric stole the show. So with that, I'll turn it over to the rest of the council. Get you guys' input. Councilmember MD.
I agree with what you said, Bill, that it's a great process and it'll serve us well. And I'm not going to hold it against them, being that MDs are a Princeton family. I won't hold them against them from Harvard. And so, but Monday would be my preference. And on the second night would either be Tuesday or Wednesday. And my logic for that is that Thursday, I believe, is COG. And I think we'd have there would be a conflict with that. But that just would be my preference, would be either Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Wednesday.
Okay, Councilmember Horvath.
Yeah, I have a conflict on Monday, so my preference would be Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday.
As is usual.
All right. Councilmember Lowenstein.
I have conflict on Thursday, but I'm good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is bad, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is good for me.
Okay. Right.
Also, I was going to say one other thing about this, but I can talk about. Are we talking just about the dates now, or can we also bring other things up?
You talk about anything you'd like.
Well, it's going to rain this weekend, so
related to the subject.
Okay.
As agendized, I should say.
Yeah, I would go with your and the Mike and the mayor's recommendation. That's fine on LRI. One thing I liked about On Strategy was the portal that they had, which is great in terms of either within the council or the public being able to see where we're at with our strategic goals. And so if it's not this go around, then maybe next go around, we can incorporate that or something similar. I think that would be great because people want to know where we're at in terms of progress. So including me. So.
Yeah, it's a good thought. And that was an attractive part of Strategy's repertoire. It wasn't in their specific proposal this go round, but it's a service they offer separately. And we can look into that kind of a community facing portal down the road. As you've brought it up in the past, we have need in the area of capital improvements. We have need in the area of kind of maintenance activities, and you could certainly add this to the list as well. So we've got a lot of software, I think, needs in our city, and I'm hopeful that we'll start checking off various items there in the near future.
Okay, Councilmember Nairnut.
Thank you, Member. Yeah, I prefer. I think that Thursday there is an issue with something. Otherwise, really, I'm open every single night. So I don't have any. I don't have a real preference for any which way. So I'm good at any which one. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Mike, you did say the week before was an option, even though we do have a council meeting on Tuesday, just because there's some conflicts. But I don't have any conflicts. I'm good any of the days. But it sounded like there were some minor conflicts anyway.
So, yeah, what I heard is
motion, we can go with that too.
it sounds like Tuesday. So Christian, you said Monday is bad for you.
Yeah.
So do we want to go, and it sounds like Thursday could be problematic. Do we want to go Tuesday, Wednesday, 28th and 29th? I think that worked for everybody.
Yeah, I like having a day gap, so people can think about it and talk to the public. But
I did too. Was Thursday?
Thursday was not good for Todd.
But I can do it. It depends. What time are we talking about?
Well, we can set that. It could be later in the evening if you'd like, or it could be earlier.
If it's in the evening, I can do it. So are we talking about evenings?
I think so. Yeah, I'm guessing we would either start at 5 or 6 both nights.
Okay, I can do it at 5 o'clock. Should be fine.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well,
5 on Thursday. That's fine.
well, then let's set. Then that sounds like Tuesday, Thursday works for everybody then.
Yeah.
It's good for
Somebody
me.
want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to do our strategic planning on Tuesday and Thursday, January, what is that?
28.
26 and
I'm sorry,
25 and 27.
25 and 27. Do we want to start at 6 p.m. For the benefit of the public? Do we want to start at 5:30? What do we want to do?
Sounds good. I mean, we're talking about probably 3 hours each session.
Yeah.
6 is good.
6. Okay.
Was there a second to Nelson's motion? Okay, motion by Councilmember Nierenheim, second by Councilmember Horvath.
And everybody's good with LRI? Can we add LRI to that motion too?
And choose LRI for the proposal. And I will say to Councilmember Lowenstein's point, I do like the idea that On Strategy has with the software and the agile and the software package, keeping track of things.
Mhm. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Nierenheim.
Aye.
Councilmember Lowenstein.
Aye.
Councilmember Horvath.
Aye.
Councilmember Obaji.
Aye.
And Councilmember MD.
Aye.
Just for clarification, it's 6 p.m. each night.
6 p.m. each night. We'll agendize, those will be agendized meetings and they will start at 6 both on Tuesday and Thursday. And I anticipate we'll be done by 9 o'clock each night.
On Zoom.
On Zoom, correct.
I apologize. I did not ask for public comment. Was there public comment on this item?
There's no public comment for this item. We have nobody.
Okay.
And I just want to, I'll have to I'll let the commissions know that they can't have their meeting that day. Those 2 days, just FYI.
Last week of January.
Correct, the public safety commission, yeah. And then it's in the planning's not having it on the 27th.
Okay, next up are city manager items. Mike.
Yes, just happy holidays to everybody. As has been noted, it's been quite the sprint to the finish here tonight. Eleanor mentioned we were wrapping up an agenda while we were conducting the meeting. I think that's the first time in my history here that we've done that. So
Mine too, as city clerk.
that's a first. Appreciate everybody's patience. We will have a fairly short agenda on January 4th. There will be 3 discussion items. You'll see that here posted shortly. There will be very few consent calendar items. Really, we have to have the meeting to conduct payroll demands and contracts under 35,000. And then I have slotted in a couple items that have been on our to-do list as referrals for a few months to try to knock those out as we get ready to get into January. So we will have full agendas January 4, January 11, and January 18. And then we'll obviously be doing strategic planning at the tail end of the month. So thank you all for what has been a really exciting year. And again, thank you all for your support in bringing me on. It's been a great month plus now, and looking forward to the next year and continuing to work with all of you and the staff, and just Happy New Year to everybody. So City Hall will be closed, as I mentioned, beginning tomorrow. Emergency services will be fully engaged, whether it be public works, police, or fire. Will respond as needed. But City Hall will be dark until January 3rd. Happy holidays, everybody, and have a great new year.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mike. Councilmember Narenheim, did you have any items?
No, I just want to thank Public Works for the upcoming removal of palm fronds that will be happening this week during the wind event that I'm sure we'll have. So thank you, Ted and Mike and the whole Public Works crew. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I want to wish you guys Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Great. Councilmember Lowenstein.
Yeah, ditto on Public Works. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And Mike, we're glad to have you here, so thank you. One brief item I wanted to bring up, and that is something that's been there for 4 years out there. The median in Catalina near Diamond is still, nothing's happened. And it's been this way for 4 years, and we keep hearing that it's going to get attacked.
Let me find out where we're at. We were doing a little plan, I think, working on plans and specs. I believe that has been circulated. Let me get you a status on that.
Okay.
Is that okay for me to get that to you offline? Okay.
That's all I want. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Thank you.
Hey, Councilmember Horvath.
Yeah, I'll just add on to Councilmember Narenheim and add in our first responders and everybody else who's working over the holiday. So thanks to everyone. Be safe.
And Councilmember Obaji.
Thank you, Public Works, Police, Fire, everybody. Hope everybody stays healthy, safe, and joyous.
Mm-hmm. And Councilmember MD.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, same. Yeah, happy holidays. It's been a great year, everybody. Look forward to next year working with everybody. Great to have a new city manager on board. Thanks to Jennifer and Joyce for their presentations tonight. And yeah, looking forward to a new year. And with that, I guess I will.
I should mention, Mayor.
Adjourn on. Sorry, Mike.
Just want to let you know no closed session on January 4th. So you'll be adjourning to 6 o'clock regular meeting on January.
And tonight we're going to adjourn in memory of Redondo Beach resident Jeffrey Abrams, who we spoke about last time. He was a great activist in Redondo, along with his wife, Jane. Sorry to lose him. Honored to adjourn a council meeting in his honor. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the council meeting in memory of Jeff Abrams.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Horvath, second by Councilmember Lowenstein to adjourn for the year. All right, folks, any objection? Guess that's it.
Good night, everybody.
Happy
holidays.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Out there.
Happy holidays.
Seeing everybody.